So the name of our team is called Matarau. Mata means face and rau means hundreds, literally, but in this context it means many faces. It can also mean resources, and it speaks to the how might we question that our group has selected, and I'll let my learned friend speak about that.
The experience was great. It was really good to go and talk to sets of users and then refine our prototype as we went through, and I think we all came away with lots of feedback that we didn't anticipate. There were lots of ideas that we probably wouldn't have thought up by ourselves, and that did change the way that we saw the problem throughout and played a big part in our eventual solution, which is good. I think the thing I really enjoyed was the initial personality typing,
Yes.
the Kaitiaki assessment.
Yeah.
I think it was really helpful, and it probably taught us all a lot about what to expect from each other during the weekend. And so that was really good. Looking forward to doing that again.
I think it was a really clever way to bring a group of people together who have never met, who have some similar technical skills, but very different personality types. And so to make sure that there was an even distribution throughout all the teams, so you got the best of everything for a project or a mahi like this that does require you to be able to communicate really well together as well.
And I'd support those sentiments as well, because the Kaitiaki assessment actually made me more conscious of my own characteristics and making sure that I was aware of the things that I was saying, and also the way in which I behaved and interacted with my team members.
Yeah, it stopped me running away at one or two points when I thought, I don't need to be here, but learning about how I would respond, say, to my opposites, a Kiwi, and to be able to get valued input from people that are detail-orientated and not run away from sharks, because they can be really useful at keeping you on track. I found that it was, there was emotional ups and downs, for sure, but everyone was real supportive. And the process was a lot easier in a team. I found it seemed to do.
Although I was pretty impressed by how Kiwi is actually our strongest presenter.
Yes,
exactly.
that whole thing,
Very thankful for that, yeah.
Yeah, but I do like how with that,
Personalities.
like the dynamics was already kind of laid out for us and stuff, and like you didn't need to waste time on that. You could just get straight into it.
So we used this, and we took this, and we used it to interview our users and the customers, and we used a wide range of people. So I mean, from all the way from people my age, who were my friends from 18 years old, to all the people my grandfather, who was 83 years old, and to find out what they thought was important to them about their identities and stuff on the internet, with the potential harms or the potential benefits that they could see from this. And so we looked at women and the different ethnicities, like Māori, for instance, and the different professions, and the corporate and commercial was an especially interesting part. And what we found basically is that people weren't quite sure about the consequences, but they knew that there were consequences, and they were quite afraid of them because they didn't know what they were, but they knew they would probably be bad. and that they felt hopeless because if something bad happened, they didn't think that there would be a proper way of going about it, rather than using Facebook or something, and they felt vulnerable because of these different even as it's structural features in social media and stuff. So what we came up with, I think, is these values. And so basically what we fear is that the consequences about what will happen to my information, what will happen to them if they did mess with our information, which many people wanted retribution. But then it's also the control and the context. A lot of people, when we asked them, if they wanted to be able to, if someone did Photoshop you and said it was it really depended on who did it. If it was one of your mates, they would be a little upset, but if it's all in good fun. But if it was someone they didn't know, then there would be major concerns about that and the ability to take control of that. And then, of course, the community, when one of our members of our team were talking about people who were related to other significant individuals that they were getting badly reflected on, and they were taking their own words, and that was reflecting badly on other people in their community and stuff. So it was damaging them. And so as a result, we came up with a chatbot, right? And so, which was basically that we, hold on. Yeah, so what they wanted, basically that users wanted like a way to figure out what actually happened and what actually happens and how can you like deal with this, which is why we kind of came up with a chatbot where you can like put in your issues and then they can like spit out solutions. And so we took this and we put it back to user feedback, and basically not many people were that keen about it. But what we found is that some people were, like young people really liked the idea of it, but other older people didn't. And then we remembered we had like unlimited resources. So we thought, why not just have like everything, right? And so the feedback we found is that users wanted trusted and bespoke advice with some like older people, right? They wanted anthropomorphism in their help, like a human voice and a connection. Because if young people, they're all right with like texting or something, but if old people, they prefer that personal connection. So we decided to include in our chatbot to add like a search bar for people to search on something, frequently asked questions, and of course a chatbot, and also like a hotline that would get you straight towards a lawyer or a legal professional with this phone number. And so the information that we found on the site would be preventative, like what can you do, like altering your Facebook settings or your Gmail, but then also remedial, like if something's already bad happening to you, what can you do to isolate and minimize the harm that's happening to you? And like, yeah, so the triage system and stuff would be direct information that would be positive to them, and even was like believe it's very serious, or like go to a community law center, here's a number, etc., etc. Yeah, so this is what we came up with, because another thing we found is that people were like worried about that giving their information to a bot when we're trying to stop people taking advantage of people's information, which was a bit of a catch-22. So we came up with the idea and that people wanted like a credibility, so that's why you have like endorsements from like the Law Council and stuff, and Jacinda and all those kind of things. And also, yeah, you can, there's the phone numbers and the brought you here today and the frequently asked questions. And I think that's it.
Yeah.
Yep.